Hi, I'm Larry Miller, but in a way, aren't we all? And this week, on This Week with Larry Miller, we talk about St. Patrick's Day. We talk about the poetry and the essays and the great writing, and maybe a little to do with the bars and pubs. But you know what? It's very meaningful after you've done something. Tune us in, and we think you'll agree. We'll see you here.
This is Corolla Digital.
Hello, my little Easter baskets. It's me, Allison. How's it going? Before the show officially starts, we have time to discuss a few things. Gary, I believe we have an iTunes comment of the week, right?
Allison wants your iTunes comments. Allison wants them, yes she does. Please leave her some iTunes comments and don't forget to click 5 stars.
All right, our iTunes comment of the week this week comes from Jacqueline Sawyer, and it's titled, "My New Best Friend is Hilarious."
Thank you.
Love this podcast like I love looking at pictures of cute baby kittens. Sorry, I find them cuter than duckies, puppies, and especially human babies. Every episode, I find myself laughing out loud at some off-the-wall observation that I completely agree with. It's nice to know that there's others out there that ponder the same things on a day-to-day basis. Gary's great too, and by the way, I love finding things to pick out on my head too.
It is. Well, thank you very much for your comment. And if you guys want to be iTunes comment of the week, just leave us a good comment and click 5 stars because that's our favorite number. It is crazy how much people are loving the discussion of picking scabs on your head. If only I'd known there was a community of people, then I wouldn't have been picking in shame for all those years, although I must say I don't really do it very much anymore.
Yeah, the opportunity doesn't arise very often, but I never had any shame about it.
Really?
Really.
You didn't have people come by and like tisk you, such as my mom? My mom wasn't doing that to you?
No, she wasn't.
Really? My mom was really not supportive of the head scab picking.
Well, yeah, you must have been making it really obvious. How does anyone know that there's a scab that you're picking at as opposed to just scratching your head?
I think there was a special look of concentration along with my hand, my arm, my elbow in the air. Well, I think I probably had a special head picking position, which was like elbow on some kind of horizontal surface and then forefinger and thumb as if kind of like a little scab claw. What was your position of choice? This is like asking someone where they masturbate.
No, it's not.
Okay. But I never picked my head in the shower because the the texture, the water, have you noticed this? It changes the texture of a scab.
Yeah, it makes it easier. No, I would never do that.
Okay, easier. And this now we're talking about like if there's a scab on your arm or something. It makes it easier to slough off, but it's not the same. It's not satisfying because it's not like I just picked a grape nut off my body. That is so disgusting. I'm sorry, you guys.
Right. Yeah, you wouldn't do it in the shower. That eliminates the pleasure.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't have a position. I just whatever. I wasn't making it obvious. I didn't want to take any shit from anybody.
Smart. I wonder. I don't think this is the case, but do you think that the majority of people in this world pick scabs off of their head?
I doubt it.
Okay, just one more thing about this. Which is more fun? When you do the scavenger kind of like feeling your head to see if there's a scab to pick or picking? Which was your favorite part?
Picking. For sure.
Yeah. And now for people who are turned off, I just seriously doubt my listeners are turned off. So I'm going to say, hey, you guys, there's more discussion of stuff like this, but not this specific situation in the episode you're about to hear because we had Ben Hoffman of The Ben Show on, and I love him. I think I love him. He was a great guest, and he's super fun to be around and fun to talk to. And we talked about OCD type things, although this one in particular didn't come up. Were you about to chime in with your fellow love of Ben?
Yeah, he's great. He was really, really nice, and his show's excellent. The Ben Show on Comedy Central, which we talk about a lot. He's great, and he was really, really nice. Yeah.
And had OCD for years. But anyway, now I wasn't going to do Hey Go Fuck Yourself at the beginning, and I also wasn't going to highlight any iTunes comments for Hey Go Fuck Yourself because the whole thing with Hey Go Fuck Yourself is people say, don't you think that encourages people to be shitheads? And I always say, I don't think it does, but I do think possibly doing what I'm about to do will have that effect. But I just can't help it because A, I'm in no mood, And B, A. Here we go. All right, so this is, I'm not going to say the name, though. I don't know why. It's the same pattern of questions every time. How did you get into comedy? Where did you grow up? What made you come out here? New York or LA? Blah, blah, blah. Right. That's not even the pattern of things I say. I lived in New York, but I grew up in Orange County. Allison's interview style is like being eaten alive by an ant. It's slow torture. No one's ever eaten alive by an ant. But anyway, she throws everything but the kitchen sink. And that's not even a sentence. And you know what? I'm picking at the little things when there's like major things to pick at. The quality of her show is totally dependent on her guests. Good thing she only has self-absorbed entertainers on. Listen, you cocksucker. It's called being a good interviewer. So go fuck yourself.
Hey, go fuck yourself.
The irony being those particular questions I did ask Ben, but I don't ask those questions every time. However, I ask questions that pertain to the guest and their story and what they're doing, and that is how you draw people out. Sorry that I'm not asking questions like, if you had $1 million and you had to live on Mars or Saturn, which one would you choose? Or other super specific questions. Oh, and P.S., in case I didn't already say it, which I did, go fuck yourself.
Hey, go fuck yourself.
Sometimes it's good to just get it off your chest twice. Let's see what else. Oh, something completely mundane, but which I want to ask you guys. For my long-haired listeners, male or female, what do you do about the long hair and the drain? Because I bought one of those drain strainer things, which I really like this one because it's metal and it looks good, and it's not one of those plastic ones that's going to get all yucky like some of the plastic ones do. And it sits there and it's totally flat. But today, get this, I watched as my hair snuck under the strainer and slid down the drain, and I thought, well, this is not effective at all. So that's my question for you, my long-haired listeners. What do you do? How do you not have your hair clogging the shower drain all the time? But then I strangely have kind of a high tolerance for standing in like half an inch of water while I'm in the shower. Even an inch. 2 inches, then I just feel like I'm in a shower bathtub. Gary, how do you feel about water backing up?
Not a fan.
Are you? Some people are horrified by it, though.
No.
You're not horrified. You're in the middle, or
Very little horrifies me.
Really? I imagine you as somewhat finicky, and I mean that in a not bad way.
I am finicky, but I just get upset if it doesn't work. It doesn't impact my life. It just frustrates me.
Yeah.
Horrified seems to imply that it would impact my life.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't be able to handle it.
Like my friend, Anna, not the Anna that you guys might think I'm talking about, but a different friend, Anna, from a long time ago, told me she couldn't handle it because she couldn't have the water closing in on her from both directions. That's a horrified kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely not.
That's not
I don't
you.
like the idea of standing in filthy water when I'm trying to clean myself. That's dumb. But I would just, get some Drano or something.
All right, and one more thing on my mind, and then fan phone call. I was talking to someone last night, someone in showbiz, because I'm fancy. And he was saying that he had received some advice from someone else in showbiz. I don't know why I'm not just saying the names. I probably could, but I feel like I would have to clear it with Dave Damashek first. Oops. Someone else, and their advice was, whatever you do, if you feel like if you feel like whatever the project is, if it doesn't cast you in the best light, or if you didn't do your best work, or if you just didn't come off well, do whatever you can to kill it. Don't get into that mindset of like, oh, I put so much work into it, so I should put it out. And I thought, that is so interesting, and it's completely the opposite of my, the way I've been doing everything, which is just like I put everything out there. And there are so many videos that I've done over the years, really informal, like if a Post-it note was a video, and they're out there, and they're not good. They're not shot well. They don't sound good. I probably don't look good, and what I'm saying is not articulate. And they're out there, and I just figure, man, whatever. But maybe I shouldn't be so whatever about it. And by the way, that did sound like I was saying meh, M-E-H, and I kind of hate that. So Sorry. Maybe I should. I mean, I can see how it would be good to just have things where you come off really well out there. So if someone Googles you, they're just like, wow, here's a video that has 100,000 hits and she's amazing. As opposed to this, like, a few thousand people watch this thing where she's talking about picking her head. I don't know. But then if I'm only going to put out stuff that sounds really great, the last 9 minutes of this are going to have to be killed, and we put in so much work. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, weigh in, you guys. What do you think? I feel like my way is much more organic and new media and letting it all hang out and being pretty transparent. But maybe that's just an excuse for laziness, or rationale for laziness. I have no idea. Let's call Johnny.
On a fan phone call, Alison wants to thank you all. On a fan phone call.
You have reached the Sprint voicemail box of...
Hello, Johnny. It's Alison from Alison Rosen is your new best friend. Alas, we have not reached you. And I, for one, am pretty disappointed. I'm going to speak for Gary and say he is too. Now we'll never find out how you got into comedy, why you moved out here. I'm just kidding. That's a reference to something you won't even know what I'm talking about until you listen. Anyway, thanks for being my new best friend, and I love you. Bye. I feel like the messages I'm leaving for people are getting weirder, and I feel like I'm getting weirder, which is okay to a degree, but at a certain point it crosses into not okay. And let me know when I get there. Although I feel like society will let me know when I get there. I feel like little things begin happening, like I don't know. You get letters in the mail saying I don't know what happens, actually. Someone who's a pariah, let me know how you found out. Just walk me through it. That'd be great. All right. Here is part one of my interview with Ben Hoffman. I already explained. He's great. You'll love this. Something I should clarify because it's sort of confusing or elliptical, which is a fun word. So use it. Or vague in the episode. I made reference to the fact, or we both made reference to the fact that there were a couple camera people here. We were filming it for I don't want to say what it was all for yet, because it's one of those things where absolutely nothing might happen. And then I'll be like, oh yeah, that thing, nothing happened. So it could be, it's like you know what it is? It's like people who are going to have a baby and they've decided one day we might have a baby. That's where this is. I'm like, one day we might have a baby, but I'm not ready to tell you names yet because this is a long ways away from any, and possibly we could lose it. And I'm not talking about a baby right here. Do you know what I'm saying? I hope you do. You might not. What I'm saying is, something was filmed and it's just for like a personal promotional potential feature project or something. So glad I decided to explain this, and I'm so glad that I haven't made it even more confusing. I love you guys, and we're going to be giving away an iPad from our good friends over at Citrix and GoToMeeting. I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. I wish that I could just have the iPad. I don't see why I have to give it away, no matter how many times I say this. And by the way, this is not me expressing how I feel. This is me dropping a hint, a big hint, that no one is picking up. It's just sitting there. It's making me uncomfortable. So anyway, here's how you can have my iPad. Tweet us at ARIYMBF with the answer to the question, if you could host a GoToMeeting from anywhere, where would it be and why? And then use the hashtag AlisonFreeIPad. Okay. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later.
Alison Rosen. Alison Rosen is your new best friend. Alison, with her good times never end. Alison Rosen, doing the wavy pencil dance again. Alison's your new best friend.
Hey everyone, hi, hello, it is me, Alison Rosen, and I'm sitting here with Ben Hoffman.
Hey, Allison.
Hello, from my new favorite show, The Ben Show.
You haven't watched the show, have you?
No, I've watched every episode.
Seriously?
All 3 of them.
Thank you very much.
No,
I
I
appreciate
really
that.
do love it.
We're making eye contact, so I know you're not lying to
Yeah.
me. By the way, I just want to say I was warned ahead of time that the intro music was going to be very loud.
It wasn't that loud,
That was like a
it?
2
Yeah.
at best, maybe a 3.
What does the scale go up to for
10
you?
to 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I was actually thinking that. I was thinking that Gary, my producer, always warns people the music's going to be loud.
That's nothing against Gary.
Well, I've had guests look at me like, whoa, monster, before I started warning them.
On this song? But it's so good.
It is good, but it's jarring. It starts with a strong drum solo. And by the way, I watched the show too. It's fucking great.
Thanks, man. I was
Yeah,
going to say,
absolutely.
you were complimenting me on the show, and I interrupted by talking about the loudness of your theme song. So
I know,
we
and
should
now-
go back to that.
Maybe eventually. But first I want to say, I always expect or hope the guest will sort of dance a little during the song, and you didn't. What's that about?
No, I did a little head nod.
I
didn't
saw nothing. I saw
I know what I
you
did.
did not register any sort of
You know what I was
felicity of spirit.
Well, so I was focusing on because he told me to work like the intro music was gonna be really loud, so pretending that like it was hurting my ears.
Oh.
That was my bit.
Yeah, I see.
So then there was no room time to
Right.
dance or anything.
See, that just shows that funny people are kind of narcissistic. Because it's all about
Kind of.
Barry. Do you feel narcissistic?
Oh, of course. Yeah, that's all I've been doing. I've been talking about myself nonstop for like the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, you were saying. Well, no. Let's go back to me telling you how much I like the show, and
Yes.
then let's talk about the
Let's
other
focus
stuff.
on that first thing. Well, let's focus on this first, which is I have a Volvo that I'm leasing. I got a new Volvo.
Right.
And the fucking thing, it won't lock. The thing on my thing, but
the key.
the
thing.
key thing. But but there's not even a key option.
Oh, is it? It's keyless entry.
So this
you're
guy's like
fucked.
telling me how awesome it is to have keyless entry. Well, today would have been a good day to have a key. My car's sitting. This is not the nicest neighborhood. Nothing wrong with it.
No, my car has been broken into here.
Yeah, well, my car officially, if
Bad.
it won't be broken into, it'll just be opened.
Yeah.
But I
You
don't
just
know.
enter.
I was asking the crew here, including Ben Plimer, the cameraman, if my car automatically locks, and we're not really sure. I'm hoping it does. But if
Well, if it's not there when you get there, then you'll know that not only does it not lock, but it's easy to start.
it's keyless driving.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And for the listener who's wondering the reference to a cameraman, what we're talking about, we're not going to tell you. It's a
Who
secret.
cares? Yeah, really. Seriously, everybody tapes their podcast.
That's
You
right.
can tell them if you'd like.
Oh, well, we're just filming a little thing, but you're never going to see it. But I love you guys anyway. I'll explain more later.
It could make you never know.
They could, but most likely not.
If
But
they
so,
know you.
so anyway,
And you're my new best friend, which is we've already talked like 10 times longer than we did
on the Adam Carolla show.
Yeah, I know.
What do you mean by that?
We just never really talked on that thing.
Yeah.
We talked for 2 seconds before. We have a very good chemistry here. It sounds like we've been friends for years, but I just met you. And I'm happy to be here, and this is
Thank you.
very fun.
So why a Volvo? Because I imagine like you're sort of newly successful.
Well, many things. One, season 1 of a show, don't get too cocky.
Okay,
Because
right.
you don't want to spend all your money on a big fancy car.
Like you don't want to fly too close to the sun.
Yeah, exactly. If there's no season 2, I got problems. I mean, my car was literally about to break down. I had to get a car. There was no option. So I was thinking, I didn't want to be that douchebag who had like a new TV show and like a BMW.
Or a Porsche.
Well, I would never. I wouldn't even know how to drive that.
I was going to say so many, but it's really just a handful of people who that's the first thing they went out and bought.
Seriously, because I don't care about cars at all. I really don't. I just wanted a reliable car that drives. And my friend Craig, who this guy used to live with, is
Once
like
again,
Mr.
reference
Car.
to the cameraman. It's not going to work for the listener.
Oh, should I? Oh, is pointing not doesn't work on podcast? He was saying the most sensible car that'll make you look not uncool, but make you look like won't look like an idiot is a Volvo because it's right in the middle. Like you don't look.
Who are you trying to impress? Men
No,
or
but
women?
I'm saying. Well, I'd like to impress women, but I don't want to. You're asking if I'm gay? Is that the question? No, I'm not gay.
No, but thank you for offering because I would have eventually.
I mean, I know, but who I'm trying to impress is everyone.
yes.
So that's to answer the first question. But I didn't want anything too flashy, but I also don't want to be like I didn't want to be the dude who's like, new TV show, and I go out and buy like a $300 car to be like, this hasn't changed me. I want it to change me some, but it fucking hasn't.
Do you feel like your friends at home, and home is Kentucky, right?
Lexington, Kentucky, yeah.
Do you feel like they're waiting for you to change?
They've been waiting for me to change for years. It's just not happening. It's not sticking. Nothing's happening. Like, listen, the show, I'm really happy with the show. It is what it is, but it's not like a giant, it's still early. By the time this airs, it could be a giant hit show. Probably not. But it could. But it's nothing has changed. I'm the exact same. Like, I just texted the EP on the way in here, like, are we fucked?
What does that mean?
I don't know. Just like a general text to alert, like, are we in trouble? Are we good? Like, I don't know. I feel like it's finding its audience. I sent out a tweet. That's another subject we gotta get on. I gotta get off the fuck off Twitter.
You can't.
I know, that's the thing. What was that?
It was an accidental noise, but it worked as sort of punctuation for I got to get off Twitter.
Yeah, well, I have been having
Go
this
with
conversation a lot. I don't cut that out. That he's like apologizing. It's not that big of a deal, man.
It's no. You know what, Gary? It's my producer, Gary.
Why'd you just write "fired" on that pad? That's not cool.
No, what I wrote was Gary with a circle and a slash.
Wow.
He takes accidental noises he takes it to
Yeah, he
heart.
seemed bummed out about it.
Yeah.
And it's real, like, it couldn't be less of a
I think
deal.
he feels like noises are sort of his purview, and if they happen, then he's fallen down on the job. I don't feel. Is that chime in here, Gary?
You're talking me into it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I mean, I'm supposed to be engineering the audio. If something comes through that I didn't intend, then what the fuck am I doing? Like,
But now that I think about it, your job is to make sure. Your only job is to make sure what just happened doesn't happen.
that's kind of what I'm
That's how
saying.
he looks
That's
at
how
it.
That's how.
But
I
it
take
is kind of when I think about it. Now I'm taking his side. He sucks.
And in the early days of this show, he said to me something. I was like, really, like, don't even worry about it. There was something that was really bothering him. And he's like, I know, but it's just like, you're so cool and you're so easy to work with. And I fucked this thing up, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like now that I've grown into the role, I don't think he would couch it in that way.
Huh. Interesting.
I don't think I'm as cool and easy to work with anymore.
You're not easy to work with? You seem very easy to work with.
I don't think that's fair at all.
Oh, thank you. Tell me more.
I just thought that was an implied thing that I didn't need to keep saying. I mean, obviously it's nice to say, and I should say it more often, but...
Well, it's always nice to hear.
Yeah, I feel terrible. This is your product, and you work really hard to make it good, and when shit like that happens, I feel like an idiot.
Yeah.
Oh, Gary.
It's a buzzer sound.
Thank you.
That shit ain't cool.
Well, you know what it sounds like? Did you have one of those early Macintoshes?
Yeah, like
remember,
the cream-colored ones?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where the screen was like 1/5 the size of the computer, and you could choose the different tones you wanted, and there was like a boing or a
I never chose
quack
that
or
one.
something. Yeah,
It sounds like what happens when your
like.
Volvo won't lock. That's what they call in the business a callback.
That was good.
Yeah, I know. The crew can't even keep their laughter to themselves. No, what I was going to say about Twitter, so I put right on the way before I left, I tweeted, I will RT, I have like no Twitter followers, I will RT the craziest tweet about the show that's filled with the most curse words.
Mm-hmm.
And I just read over them on the walk-in, and they're fucking insane.
That's good. That means that you have.
No, but there weren't that many of them. There were
But
just a few.
still,
But
it's
there was
gotta
like the
say.
worst language I've ever heard in my life. Want me
Like
to read
what?
a couple?
Yeah, I would
Hold
love
on.
that.
Hold on. Let me see if I have reception here. Hold on. I just got a reminder to go to my therapist.
Yeah, that's actually what that sound was a reminder.
Yeah.
Do you forget to go to your therapist?
No, I have until I put the reminder in there. Hold on. This is what guy wrote. During the fucking Ben show, I finger my mom's cunt with my dad's dick while my pug finger fucks my sister's twat. I love the Ben show. That seems a little harsh, right? I mean, can we even air that? Is that too much? I'm hearing it.
Oh, air that on this?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. We've heard worse.
Oh, really?
No.
Fucking fuckwads gotta eat. Oh, that's just not even that funny. Hold on. And then this congresswoman started tweeting me. The Ben show will make you stinky doo-doo bum all over the farty stupid TV. Good flippin' show, you ask me, boobies. Hail Satan.
How do you feel about that one?
That was not as good.
Yeah.
Hold on. But there was a real dirty one. There's like a bunch. That motherfucking cunt-ass hella dank bullshit. The Ben show. I think this bit's played itself out. But no, in the middle of all that, I found out that a congresswoman was tweeting me. Mm-hmm. And then I said, this seems like a weird time to find out that I'm being followed by a congresswoman. She's like, well, I'm just a big fan. This old woman. I love the show. Then I retweeted a bunch of the more nasty ones after. And she's still with me.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Do you do that thing of like when someone who is in the public eye starts following you, do you sort of nervously check to make sure they're still following you?
I've never done that, but now that you mentioned it, I'm sure I probably will.
You know who I lost?
Who'd you lose?
So fast it was as if I never had her. Mindy Cohn from Facts of Life.
Fuck her. Who cares?
I do. I'm the biggest Facts of Life fan
yeah,
ever.
But listen.
So there
Mindy,
was.
what year was Facts of Life?
was it started, I think, in 79, and it went until right now. As far
Until
as I'm
right
concerned.
now. No, but I'm saying
I don't know.
Mindy
through the
Cohen
late
in
80s.
82 unfollows you. That's something. Mindy Cohen in 2013 unfollowing you. Who gives?
That's why
a
it was
darn?
such a slap in the face. Because
I
she has
feel
like
like-
100 followers or something.
I'm saying, yeah. I would just.
I think she accidentally
brush it.
followed me. That was my sense because from the
She
time
could have
that
also accidentally unfollowed you.
maybe I need.
My
to
guess is
get
she
in
doesn't
touch.
know her way around Twitter
Yeah.
too much.
Right, because I hadn't even from the time that I saw that she was following me to the time she had unfollowed me. I hadn't even tweeted. What could I have done to push her away?
Maybe she. I mean, don't want to get in your head. Maybe she read through some old tweets and saw something
Oh.
offensive or something.
That is quite possible. That's sad.
But
Let's-
doesn't it drive, like, I was just talking about this just now, that's why it was in my head, but like, I'm talking to the microphone. Just having this much access, it is freaking me out more than I thought it would.
people having this access to you?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, my show's not that popular, my Twitter's not that popular, but I like live tweet. Like, you can read I mean, it's mostly positive. But it's just weird, the idea of who did I reference the other day? Like, if I was a kid and like I found out I could tweet Axl Rose, and there was a chance, even like a slim chance, he would listen to me, I would have never shut the fuck up, like giving him reviews on every line of every song he ever wrote.
And yes, now people do that to you.
No, I'm just saying in general, that's weird that we live in a world where that can happen.
Yeah.
I'm getting too serious for the.
No, it's
for the-
okay. We can be philosophical. No, it is.
No.
It's like having that magic phone, which I don't think exists in a short story, but it should, where you can just pick it up and talk to anyone.
But I need to just get off it in general, because then the worst is you go and there's like, oh shit, I have nothing. There's nothing on here.
Yeah. Then you wonder
I'm
if you-
dead in the water. This show fucking sucks. No one's even talking to me.
Do you have the option of getting off Twitter? Like, isn't there
No,
an
but
expectation that you will
No,
keep
I
up
can't.
with
Yeah,
social media?
I cannot get off Twitter now. Like, I mean, I'm just not legally, but like, I have to be on it for the show, which I'm happy to do. But I really want to be like, who was it? I met some people recently who worked with Sacha Baron Cohen, and they're like, he's not on Twitter. I was like, God, I cannot wait till I'm successful enough to get off Twitter. But I could also just get off Twitter if I wanted to as well. So it's all on me.
It is.
You know.
So let's talk a little more.
Notice how I just coughed off the microphone.
No, you're a real pro.
I've done this before.
Yeah. So you were saying that you've been doing interviews, tons of interviews for the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's been a little nutty because I'm sick of. I'm half joking about the narcissism, but I'm definitely getting sick of talking about myself.
Mm-hmm.
The same 3 fucking stories over, because I'm not really like a great raconteur. I don't have a lot to talk about, as your audience is probably unfortunately figuring out right now. But like the small, like Kimmel is. I don't mean to name drop, but like that's so much fun. Like that's exciting, big audience. Conan, big fun. The Corolla thing. I feel like now I'm just naming off my press stuff. And like the magazine stuff is fun, but like the real small papers or like the Skype interviews with the dudes I've never heard of, like it just gets a little. But hopefully it all adds up to like 20,000 followers.
Do you feel like that has to?
By the way, narrate what I'm doing. I'm shaking my head.
You're
sad.
shaking your head,
Looking sad,
and telling me what to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you feel like that has to do with the quality of interviewer? It seems like this is folding back on me, and that's not where I'm trying to take it.
Yes, but it's probably me as well, because if I see that it's a smaller place, I won't give them, like every big interviewer I've had obviously started at a smaller place, so I should give them the benefit of the doubt, right? Maybe they're great.
Yeah.
But that being said, some of the smaller ones are cool. Like, that if you talk to a smaller place and that they're like asking new weird questions you haven't heard, that's cool. They thought about it and they've seen the show. There's some people who you can tell just haven't done the Alison Rosen type of research.
That's right.
Haven't seen all 3 episodes.
Now, I was trying to describe the show. I was trying to just put into words what it is that I like about the show. And I was saying that there's something so sweet about it, but then...
And then you showed a clip and someone was like, this
Well,
is
the person I was
least...
talking to,
Yeah.
who also has been watching it, was saying that, but at times it actually is a little bit mean-spirited. But I know what he's saying, but somehow the whole show always comes off as sweet and absurd.
That
and
is one of the
authentic.
nicest compliments I've ever heard. Because
Which part of it?
Your part, not your friend's part. Your friend is dead to me. But the part, to me, the most fun would be to make the most disgusting, offensive show possible and have someone like you go, that show is so sweet. Because it is kind of, in a way. It was my point to be way meaner to myself than to anyone else on the show and make fun of myself more. And I don't like being mean. I don't like being mean to other people. Sometimes you have to watch the show to kind of get it, but if I hand someone a card to introduce a sketch and they read something disgusting, I give them the option. I mean, people don't see this part, but I give them the option. You don't have to sign if you don't want. Because everyone who's on TV, don't forget, has to sign a release to be on Comedy Central.
Wait, I want to come back to that. Let's just real fast, for listeners who don't know what the show is about.
I don't even know how to describe it, but I'll try.
Yeah.
I'm interested in your description of it.
Okay. It's a sketch show, loosely.
So far, so good.
Each episode has a theme and sort of an adventure that you, Ben, playing yourself, go on. And there's also a lot of man on the street segments. Each new clip is introduced by a random man on the street person that you're talking to, and you hand them the copy to intro the next clip, and then you ask them to deliver it to camera. And there's always something funny in choosing that person to read whatever it is.
That is a perfect example of why this show is hard to describe, because that is a perfect description. And
but it doesn't get at it.
But it takes a long time to explain it. See, that's the problem when you're as revolutionary as I am.
Right, words can't contain you.
Now the whole room is laughing. You can't. It's hard to. It makes. To me, when you watch it, it makes total sense. But the description of it always sounds dumb.
How have you been describing it?
I just say it's a sketch show, and in between the sketches, you see me in my real life.
Yeah.
Because that is real me, and that's all the people I'm dealing with.
Right, your therapist, your dad.
Those are all. That's my therapist. That's my dad. That's my
Todd Bridges.
That's my Todd Bridges. Those are all the real people in my life. So it's a weird mix of man on the street with sketch comedy, and they twine into a story somehow.
How did you sell a show like this? Because I feel like there's supposed to be the quote-unquote elevator pitch. You're supposed to be able to, in a sentence.
I pitched it a little differently than what it was, is what happened. What happened is I'd done a lot of writing work for Comedy Central, so they had been fans of mine, and I'd done some on-camera stuff for them too. And I was
that on the Norm Macdonald show?
Yeah, I was on a sports show with Norm. I was a writer. Then they kind of nudged me onto. I'm like, oh man, I don't want to be on camera, but I really did. And then I wrote some stuff for them. And then I had done some other on-camera stuff on other TV shows that they liked, and they left the door open. If you want to pitch something, let us know.
Which other shows did you do?
A bunch of pilots that didn't make it. I wrote on the Roseanne roast, and I wrote that joke about her being big and fat.
Now the room's laughing.
Now somebody's laughing. Yeah, that's somebody like that. But I wrote variations on the fact that she's big and fat. And by the way, met her, and she wasn't when I met Roseanne, just I'm looking at her holy fuck, she's not really that fat.
Yeah.
She's not that fat. We're fucked. We have 4 hours of Roseanne's fat material, and she's fucked. Not to mention the 2 hours of Sharon Stone material, and she didn't even show up. Anyway, enough about Roseanne and Sharon Stone. Back to me. And then they said, if you ever have a pitch, let us know. So I pitched them something, and this guy, Mike Gibbons, who co-created Tosh and co-created this show with me, was like, I've kind of seen your, man on the street stuff. You should do that. But we also want to do sketches. How do we figure out a way to do sketch and real stuff? And I'm like, well, what if we just have real people introduce the sketches? And then we're like, well, this is all, the whole show came together in 3 minutes. And I'm like, well, how can real people introduce the sketches? We can't they're not actors. We can't give them cue cards to read. They'll just look like they're dumb actors. We'll just hand them a piece of paper and we'll write the intros for them, and they'll just read it. And then we go, that'd be a funny way to intro this. And then we can write anything and they'll read it. And we went out and shot the pilot, and we just figured out people will read. If you say this is for Comedy Central, will you read this into camera? It's about 99.9% of the people will do it.
Mm-hmm.
No one will say no. We had, I think, one no the entire first season. Everyone's just sure, whatever it takes to be on TV, I'll do it.
Wow. Do you write them ahead of time and then find the people? Or, do you try to match up what it is with the person?
No, we have an idea of who the person is because of the low budget nature of the show. I have no way of, there's no pre-interviews, there's no meeting the person ahead of time, so there's no way to, I would never want to make fun of someone's physical features anyway, but like, we don't even know what the person looks like. It's just like, we know that, like, for example, the person's going to be like, teaches tantric sex, so we'll write about that. Mm-hmm. And so we'll have like variations on that, and I'll just pick a card sometimes I'll rewrite them on the spot for the person if they have, if they did something crazy during the show. But yeah, it really is as fly by the seat of my pants as it looks. And it is because I've been getting a lot of questions too about how real those interstitials are, and they are all completely real. And then the sketches go off into crazy land. And so, which is the part that your friend probably thinks is mean. Or I think
he meant the interstitial stuff. I don't know that he really meant mean-spirited, but just...
Is he continuing to watch?
Yes.
All right, so who cares?
No. But I love, I think the thing that had me laughing like a child was the sketch where the guy kept falling through the chair. And then also the barfer.
Thank you very much. Those are two sketches that everyone said. The Fat Kyle, it's called. His name is Kyle. He has a name. Was one of my favorites. This originally came from this idea that one of the writers, Sean O'Connor, really funny guy, giving him a shout out if he's made it this far into the podcast.
Well, if he hasn't, is that because of you or me?
Probably because of me, because he's been sick of hearing my shit. I thought that was so funny. You're getting me to a larger point, which is I read a review of my show. I'm not going to name the place, but it's a place I really respect their reviews. And it was, some positive. And I don't really get thrown by reviews I don't really care. This sentence really pissed me off. He's like, this sketch called Fat Kyle is a fat guy just smashing through chair after chair after chair. It's like, if you're looking for a wink or a nod to camera at the end, well, guess what? You're just not going to get it. You'll be waiting forever.
What?
And I'm like, it pissed me off so, but not about like a personal insult about the show, like the idea that we've come so far. I mean, I know I'm not making a show for critics. Listen, I wasn't watching an Asian woman walking down the street and smashing a gong, going, man, critics are gonna love this. But I also like that we've come this, like, critics are looking at it like the fact that he wanted a wink after a comedy sketch. Like, dude, it's just a fat guy falling through chairs over and over and over. That's all it is.
It's someone slipping on a banana peel. It's that kind of humor.
And it's 30. It's when you think there's 10, there's like 50. And we couldn't have blown more money or wasted more time on this dumb Fat Kyle.
That's what it is, yeah.
Yeah, Fat Kyle sketch. And we were just like, how many chairs can this fat idiot fall through? And then just to see that he was hoping for like more, like a wink, like that's something a critic wants. That's not something.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to make people laugh, and that review really rubbed me the wrong way. But I do like the AV Club, so but fuck him on that one.
So what is your story? You're from Kentucky.
I'm from Lexington, Kentucky, and I grew up Jewish in Kentucky, and not a lot of Jews around. That's probably where my comedy came from. I mentioned on Conan the other night, only because in case people saw it. I did have a blind one-legged rabbi. That is true. I don't really – I didn't even know – I was trying to think the other day. Here's a question for you, Alison Rosen, now that I'm turning the tables. If you'd known would your career path have changed had technology been what it is now when you were a kid?
Oh, that's a good question. Have changed. I got my start in print journalism, so
maybe it doesn't affect you then.
Well, but if technology was what it is now, then that print journalism wouldn't even exist. So I guess my answer is no.
No, okay, because I was just thinking.
I don't know.
I was just wondering because I didn't really even realize, being from Kentucky, that that there was such a thing as having a career in comedy seemed as crazy to me as being a movie star or a rock star. I just didn't even know it existed. I'm just wondering if like hearing these kind of having access to these podcasts and stuff as a kid in Lexington, Kentucky, would have moved me further into it. Maybe it would have talked me out of it. Hearing
Are you suggesting that perhaps it might have gotten you there faster?
No, I'm just curious. I don't know the answer. I'm just wondering, like shows like this where they interview comedians so much, like I would have learned what the life of a comedian is like at 11 instead of 26, you know? It's just weird for me to think about that. I don't know the answer.
Well,
I don't have
it
an
makes
answer.
It makes you wonder all that information, being inundated with all that information, might that have actually made you, like, been daunting?
Yeah, if I'd heard a guy has his own TV show and is worried about the payments on his Volvo, like maybe I would have not gotten into it.
Right.
But also hearing about like how to do it and stuff, maybe would have got to even learn like that some other dude, it was just a dude from Kentucky who moved to LA, like maybe that would have talked me into it. I don't know.
Well, so before comedy, what did you think you wanted to do?
I mean, I was the most I was about to say uninteresting kid, which that is true as well, but I was so uninterested in everything. Like I had really bad ADD. I was so spaced out. I couldn't pay attention to anything. And I really people were worried about me because I had no interest at all. Like literally not just sitting in my room.
Were you anxious?
Well, here's the thing. If you want to get deeper into it, I was so full of anxiety still, and I still am, that it was and I spent so much time trying to cover it up. That's what caused even worse, like ulcers almost, because I tried to look like the coolest cat. And the fact that I said coolest cat probably doesn't help that. But like I tried to look like I didn't have
Depends what
anxiety.
era this was.
Yes, this is the 40s. I was trying to look like the coolest kid around, looking to make people not know that I had this much anxiety.
How were you trying to do it?
But not kind of being quiet and staying out of the, becoming invisible.
Right.
And I mean, I wasn't like I was just a normal kid, but
I remember very young when someone would say, "How are you?" I would sigh and be like, "Okay," because I decided that's more interesting than saying good.
But is that really how you felt?
I don't.
Were you an anxious kid?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I was anxious and I was shy, and
Yeah.
I wasn't a happy kid. I did, so many. Well, I don't know how many people actually think they had a happy childhood, but the notion
Who
of a happy,
does?
right? Some people must have, but I always think they're lying.
But they're fucked now, most
Right.
of them. But no, I think it's very, very similar. Just so much. My thing was, and I'm going to blame my parents on this, even though they're really good parents. I was just undiagnosed with everything. I found out later I had ADD, horrible ADD, but I didn't know it at the time because I wish I still had this skill. I was so good at memorizing things that I could memorize stuff like the night before and get. You're never diagnosed as ADD if you're. Now I'm getting into medical talk. If you have good grades or decent grades or B's and are
Right,
quiet,
right.
Why would anyone? As long as you're getting B's, you're fine. So like if I was walking, around the room screaming or failing my classes, they would have known something was up. So I wasn't diagnosed with any of the stuff and the anxiety and all the 8 million problems I have.
The almost ulcers.
Well, it actually was ulcers, and then OCD and all that crazy shit.
Ooh, how does your OCD manifest?
Oh, it's really, really bad. I mean, like I went to. This is crazy. That I went to actual behavioral therapy classes. Do you know what that is?
No.
So what they do is, and this sounds made up, but I swear to God, it's not made up. I would go to a class to this hospital where these like college kids would teach me, and like professors, where I would literally touch the ground and then touch my face. To like they overexpose you to germs and stuff to try to get you used to the germs. So I would like literally touch a toilet seat and then touch my arm.
Was
And
that hard for you to do?
It was fucking impossible.
So
Well,
were
they said
germs one of your main things?
that was
Okay.
the main thing. And then like it was so bad, like I would have to I was reading a book and go to sleep, and I would have to wash my hands before I go to sleep because I just touched. It was insane. There's no.
That's
rhyme or reason to
crazy.
it.
I do the thing where I have to close it on a good word.
That's OCD, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
But how bad is it though for you?
Oh, I always say all my stuff like that, which I don't even call OCD. I just call them weird quirks. I always say that it's really not that bad because if I couldn't wake up on like a 1 or so, because when I set my alarm clock, I don't like to wake up on a 0 or 5 because everyone does that. I like it to be a 1 or just some random
Yeah, I
number.
guess there's
random, which is always 1. But if I had to get up on at 9 o'clock, I could.
Yeah, so
therefore
there's
I
a difference
decided
between
it's
weird
bad.
quirks or OCD, and I think the thing is where it's just, does it disrupt your life? No, I'm a therapist.
Yeah, there are things that disrupt my life. I actually was just talking about this because it's been really bad lately. I am really indecisive when it comes to things that don't matter. When it's stuff that matters, like
what's an example of something that doesn't matter?
Which toothbrush to buy, which notebook to buy.
Like how indecisive? How long?
Like it took me like 3 hours.
3 hours?
But okay,
I gotta
since
introduce you to my
May,
guy, yeah.
since May, I was like, I'm going to buy a new Sonicare toothbrush. But I kept putting it off because I knew that I was going to have trouble making the decision. So then, and I kept like, I'd look at the website because there's so many different ones and they have so many different features and none of it matters anyway. But finally, I was like, I'm just gonna do it. And I was really stuck in the chair for like 3 hours.
I may diagnose you as just picky on that one because I don't know if that does sound like it's
just frustrating.
It does sound like it's influencing your life, but it doesn't seem like it's. I'm not sure that's harming your life.
Yeah, it feels uncomfortable for me to feel like for other
it's not
decision for other
paralyzing.
people, like what color to get of something is difficult for me. No, I feel paralyzed. I'm not actually paralyzed, so it's not as bad.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Be safe. Let's check it out. Go see a doctor. They'll diagnose you.
Okay.
And they're happy to take your money. Do you have insurance?
Yeah.
All right. So go
I
check it out.
talked to Dr. Drew. And he was
there's your guy.
Yeah. Here's the thing. He was like, I think some part of you likes this. And
could be true.
I have decided. What were you going to say?
No, but I'm just saying you were talking about it, but then again, I was just talking about it, and I don't like it, so that I negated my argument.
Well, I've decided I hate when you're talking about something that bothers you and the person suggests that maybe you enjoy it. In fact, I feel like that almost deserves a certain something, which is coming.
That buzzing sound?
Hey, Dr. Drew.
Hey, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, because it's like, no, I'm not enjoying. I understand what you're saying, but the experience of it is not enjoyable.
That's a no-win because if you don't talk about it, you're hiding it. And if you talk about it, you're trying to brag. Like, there's no right answer.
That's like saying, I am doing heroin, I want to stop. Well, I think some part of you enjoys being a drug addict. Well, I guess maybe, but
that's why I took the heroin, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it tastes good.
Now I can't stop. Anyway, but
you're looking for help, yeah.
Yeah, but back to your problems, though.
No, but they just said for my behavioral therapy class. So the graduation was literally graduation. You would put your hand in a toilet.
Oh my God!
And then touch your face. And I told them to go fuck their mothers that I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
And so then, of course, he was not.
It was a clean toilet though?
Well, they're like, my dog drinks out of the toilet all the time, and he's fine. I'm like, I'm not your fucking dog, man. Like, listen, I finally settled with taking a $1 bill and, like, rubbing it on my forehead or, like, touching. I forget what I did. I may have actually even touched a urinal and then touched my balls, that was just for fun, I think. I don't think that was the class. Right. But, like, that's what I did. So, like, you go to that class that, like, it overexposes you to germs, and then you're, like, in a public place and touching this to the audience to know what I'm touching.
The console.
The console here wouldn't be a big deal now that I can touch because I've done way worse. Is the point of it. So I've done a lot of that stuff, and
do they have different classes for all the different sorts of things that are troublesome for people, or does everyone have the germ situation?
No, it's different stuff for different people. I don't know if they have the classes for like compulsions are harder. I mean, there's different ones. I mean, there's weird ones like. There's like just regular, step on a crack or you break your mother's back. There's that kind of stuff, which is silly stuff. But there's literally people. What was this one I heard about where someone always thought that they had just left their Volvo unlocked? No, that was me. There was always one where this guy was driving and he always thought he ran over someone in his bike.
That is actually a fairly common one. I don't know if it's that exactly, but. Driving when children are nearby, people are like, and actually, I remember reading in a book that one of the cures is to drive, in a school zone.
No, but this guy, like, he literally, I think this might be from a book too. Maybe that's where my therapist just giving me info from books. But he had to get out, look under the car, like look underneath, and make sure he hadn't run over someone. Get back in his car, drive. I think I just ran over someone. Get out. Like that is where your life is.
Yeah,
like, that's like you can't live.
You're not gonna. Yeah, you're not.
And that's what was happening to me, where I was going to the gas station. Like I would go out, get gas. I touched the gas pump. And then, is this getting too serious?
No, this is good.
All right. I touched the gas pump. I'm like, oh my God, my hands touched this dirty gas pump. I got to go back home and wash my hands. By that time, it's like, it's already 9.
Right.
It's like, just fuck it. I'm just going to stay home. Like, you're really just, I can't go out, or I'm going to meet people and I have to shake their hands or talk to them. What if I touch what if I go to the strip club and the girls, her things in my face? I made up that last part. But
could you go to a strip club in the height of your OCD?
Not in the height of my OCD, no. And I'm not a strip club guy either because I think you take OCD out, and I'm just there's a part of being germophobic that's just germophobic, and OCD, like a lot of like compulsions about like same as you, like I have to set my alarm for like a 0 or a 2. Like, not I don't have that one, but stuff like that, or check the lock like 8 times. Where the thing where it kills you is check the lock 8 times, get in bed. I forgot to do the lock thing 8 times, get back out. You could literally do it 80 times in a night.
Is it really 8 times? Or did you just choose that randomly?
I just chose that randomly.
Okay.
I don't remember what mine
I ask because, do you watch Girls?
I love the show. I have not seen. I've only seen a little bit of this season.
She has a thing where she has to do things 8 times.
Well, apparently, I read about she does have OCD too, and apparently does a lot of OCD stuff in the show.
Yes.
Which makes me nervous because I really do like that show, but I'm scared that I'm gonna
fall back into it if you see it.
It's like I'm gonna be watching like I'm a drug addict watching a drug documentary or something.
Right.
But I think you know what? I think I'll be cool.
How much are you affected by it these days?
Not as bad. You know, one of the keys to it I found out is being busy. And I've been really busy, especially with the show and everything. That's on Thursday nights at 10 on Comedy Central. You like how I shot that plug in there 1 hour into the show?
It was so seamless.
Yeah, it was like it
until
fit
you
right in.
drew attention to it.
But I do a lot of stuff. I have a lot of duties on the show. And I also have a lot of duties because I have a weak stomach. That was a joke.
Waiting.
That was what joke we did on the show that we cut.
I kind of like all duty humor.
Yeah, I think you know what? I think we kept that joke somewhere, some kind of duty joke. Anyway, but if I'm so busy, I don't have time. Like I have really bad insomnia too. But
I do too.
Do you take Ambien?
No, once or twice I took it. And
once or twice.
Yeah.
By the way, not to talk about my show again. I did
Please.
I did one episode entirely on Ambien.
Really? Which episode?
I mean, it's the episode Ben takes Ambien. It's not.
Okay.
It's like it was a challenge to see. Like
Yeah.
I say it like I'm gonna do this entire episode on Ambien.
Right.
And by the end, you see me try because I can stay awake like. Because
Isn't that
I'm
supposed
such
to be a fun high or something? People who take it and try to stay awake.
Not for me. It's just like I just want to go to sleep. But I'm such a bad insomniac that I can take Ambien, and I can stay up for like 4 hours on it, 4 to 5 hours, which is supposed to be impossible. And nobody on the staff would believe me, so they're like, "Let's shoot an episode on it and see how long you can stay up." And I stayed up. It was like 6 or 7 hours, which is not bad. But
pretty good.
It's weird that you are insomniac, but have only taken Ambien once or twice.
Yeah, I didn't like the experience. Well, first of all, it wasn't the extended release, so it put me to sleep, and then I woke up.
You mean
at, like,
Ambien CR?
I guess.
Yes, that's the one.
Right.
You should try. Go on.
Okay. No, I took the other one, just the
regular.
Ambien. Yeah. And I woke up in the middle of the night, so it didn't help me.
That means it didn't work. Yeah.
Well, it put me to sleep, but then I woke up.
Take 2 of them. Right?
And then I felt kind of well, now I'm trying to remember if it was Ambien or if it was Xanax that made me feel. I felt kind of stoned the next morning, but it was like a comfortable, relaxed feeling. But I still felt like I'm experiencing.
I guess different
a
drugs
drug
have different
hangover.
reactions. It's supposed to be out of your system, completely out of your system
Yeah,
in like
I didn't
8 hours.
feel like it was for me. So you take it every night?
I'm trying to get off. I'm in the middle of a Ambien withdrawal right now, but I'm trying. It's my goal. I have a lot of goals this year.
Oh,
one
what
is
else? What else?
one is to get people to watch my show. 2 is to quit Ambien, and 3 is to get my the locks fixed on my Volvo.
I feel like that's
All
not very ambitious. I mean,
the
Ambien
the last two are way easier
Yeah.
than the first one.
Why are you trying to get off of Ambien?
So I can live my life. No, I it's just I don't think it's good to just be
Dependent
on
on
a drug
yeah.
to sleep. I mean, I don't take it I can easily not take it. Like the point we were trying to make is that if I'm so busy, like when I was a kid and I was trying to sleep and I just couldn't sleep, my mom used to always say, Benjamin, if you're tired, you'll sleep, and if you're not, you won't. Which is, I mean, stupid advice. Really fucking stupid when you think about it. But it's kind of true as well, right?
Yes.
Because, like, if you need to sleep so badly,
Right.
your body will fall asleep.
I've had similar fears and discussions with my mom regarding constipation.
Really? The poop will come out?
When you need, eventually it's going to come.
I fucking would pray for constipation. That's one of my,
you've
that's
got
my
the opposite.
That's my 4th goal that I haven't discussed yet. Look at Ben laughing at my fucking shit jokes. But seriously, I take Imodium AD, like, I just like crush it up and put it in salad. It's like, I have it with everything. What were we talking about, Ambien?
Diarrhea. How many
Diarrhea.
times do you go a day?
Well, back to my goals, my goal list. I'm trying to do 1.
Okay.
But it's often 2.
That's not that bad, I don't think.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's sometimes 3.
Okay.
It's been 4. But usually it's 1. Not even kidding. It's like
I don't know if I believe you.
Well, here's the thing. When I had OCD, and this is for people who are getting grossed out.
Oh.
Turn
it's
it
been
off.
worse. We've
It's
had
been worse.
Andrew WK and Jim Norton. They're
All right,
disgusting.
okay. All right. So when I had OCD, I had this thing that before I went out for the night, I have to go, right? Number 2.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who don't know, number 2 is poop or shit. So, like, because if I go out to a bar or something and I got to go,
Yeah.
I'm screwed because I cannot use public restrooms.
Because of the germs?
Because of the germs. I can't put my
Tushy.
bare, lovely ass on a disgusting... And, again, that's OCD, but it's also... There's some real... I mean, bathrooms, toilets are disgusting.
Yeah.
In bars. So there's some
Yeah.
realness in it. But I literally wouldn't be able to go. So I'm like, before I go out, I got to squeeze something out. So I would sit down on the toilet, like if I'm going out with my friends at like 9, I would get they're picking up the cameras now. They need this on camera. So at like 7:30, it's like, all right, start the pushing, and I would just sit down and just try to squeeze something out, which is really bad for you.
Yeah, okay. I have heard this. I've heard that you should never strain. But how do you go otherwise?
You know, here's Howard,
Would you just sit
here's
down
Howard
and
Stern's
just like
advice.
relax and
Only
it just all falls out?
only shit when you absolutely have to. When you gotta go.
Sounds so uncomfortable.
But if here's my question.
I don't want to be a slave to my bowels. I want them to, like, when I say go, we go.
I guess, but that is very dangerous.
That's what I hear.
Like
what can happen, though? You can push your innards
Apparently,
out.
a lot of people, I've been told, maybe they're just trying to scare me,
No,
have been died on the toilet trying to squeeze out a turd.
Is this true? Because
That's what I
I've
hear.
heard this too. But I just
I know
feel
it's-
like
I know it causes-
it's never firsthand.
it definitely
No one
causes
lost a
hemorrhoids.
family member this way.
Well, here's the thing. That's it's done alone. So no one's like there watching them. Like,
Maybe this is how Elvis died.
No, he died face down in the toilet.
Oh.
But he was taking so many painkillers, and painkillers give you constipation. So, like, if one painkiller gives you constipation, imagine he was taking like 50. Imagine.
Right.
So he would sit down there for hours, trying to.
He had to push.
So I think he got up, and then I think he was trying to throw. He was actually in the process of throwing up or something. But yes, he did die on the toilet. But I've been told that a lot of ER people, they find a lot of people dead on the toilet.
From trying to take a crap
Just
and
like
dying somehow from pushing too hard.
If you're an ER, apparently, this could be made up. This is when somebody told me a lot of your calls are no answer, bust down door, go to bathroom, guy sitting there, sitting on toilet dead, like maybe a little brown coming out, but like just sitting there like nothing happened and he didn't make it, and like that's no way to go.
Do you believe this?
I have no choice but to believe it.
Okay.
It can't be good for you to sit there and just squeeze.
No. Well, so what is a healthy bowel movement?
A healthy
like?
bowel movement is, I feel defecation about to exit out of my anus. I'm going to sit down and put it where it's supposed to go, in the toilet. That's where the stuff goes. I'm going to put it there. I'm going to clean up. I'm going to get up. You don't supposed to. That's how it's.
You
supposed
don't
to be.
dilly dally.
You don't sit down like, squeezing out. That was
No sweat or anything.
no sweat. This is not supposed to be a sweating activity. I mean, this is again, I'm not the expert at this, but I've done enough research. Again, I'm going to quote Howard Stern. He said, "Only shit when you absolutely have to go. That's when you go. When you can hold it no longer. But you have to be ready to do it in public places in that case, obviously."
But think about, let's really get into this. Think about the feeling when you're like, oh my God, must go now. That's not a comfortable, for me, that's not a comfortable feeling. That's usually there's a panic.
Well, how about
usually
this?
there's, like when I lived in New York.
Here's an uncomfortable feeling.
Okay.
I just died on the toilet.
Well, true.
Yeah, that's an uncomfortable feeling.
True.
So weigh those two. One is
Are those the only options though?
from what I've been told, yes.
So when I lived in New York, I lived with my sister at one point, and I was
And she died on the toilet?
no,
Okay.
not yet.
Okay.
Walking home, and I had the Howard Stern feeling, and I called her to make sure that she was not in the bathroom because I would have died or not died, but
I know what you're
you know
saying.
what I mean? And then I also asked if she could unlock the door for me and unlock the door downstairs. Like I needed an
See,
usher. I needed a poop usher because I've never truly felt like I might just shit my jeans, but I did at that moment.
How many
feel
times
that way.
has that happened to you? Just that once?
Just that one.
Just
that once. That's the only time it's happened to me where I haven't been near a toilet because I don't let it get to that point.
But see, sometimes that's just like bad. I was gonna say another one of my ailments, which is not a very serious one. I'm lactose intolerant and didn't find out till later. So what you just described, every time I would eat like stuff filled with dairy, I would get that. And like, oh my God, like what's going, like, you know, like musket, like literally if the lock hadn't worked the first time, it was happening in my pants. And once I learned that to just take a lactate or not eat dairy, it was not that big of a deal. But I think those occasions like that you're talking about, again, you said it just happened once.
Yeah.
So why worry about it? You're talking about it once.
But I don't worry about it. I'm just saying waiting until you can't wait any longer.
But that didn't
feels like
happen
you're waiting
because
too long.
that didn't happen because you waited too long. That
No.
happened because
No, it happened because I received a call from a guy that I was trying to avoid, but I secretly wanted to see him and I didn't know what to do.
So it was
literally scared the shit out of me.
Literally. So it was a nervous stomach.
Yeah.
Oh, so
And I also needed to go. No, it wasn't.
do you remember what you ate that day?
I don't.
Could have been something you ate too.
I feel like probably a salad based on volume.
I mean, yeah. So you remember what it looked like.
No, I remember the feeling of like, this is serious.
Yeah. No. Listen. You're preaching to the converted, my friend. When I found out I was lactose intolerant, I was like, okay, no dairy. And I'm such an idiot. I was like, oh, instead of bagel with cream cheese, I'll just get something with no dairy. I'll get bagel with butter on it, which is more dairy. No one told me.
Oh, interesting. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah.
And I would eat that bagel, and like it was war, my friend. It was craziness.
Right.
Like this was like
you lubed it up.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on, and that is when I got to that experience of just like driving home. Like, do I have to stop by the side of the road and just like, you know, take some? I don't want to get into too much detail here, but you know, what would be a way of saying it without being too gross? Shit all over the place. Yeah.
Evacuate on the side of the road.
Yeah. Take a shit over all over my friends.
I have one more thing to say about this, and then we can talk about something that's not so feces.
That's something that's not about
based.
taking shits.
If you're really, sorry, I'm really hung up on this. If you're really waiting until
This is sounding like a little OCD.
I know.
But go on.
See how I'm ruining everyone's life with it? Mine, yours, everyone's who's listening. Sorry, listeners. But you know what? I talk about my period sometimes, and so they're used to me making them listen to things that are disgusting.
Well, you know, I think
I often talk about my period.
What did he just say?
He said sometimes.
I thought he said 7 times, like he's been counting.
It's more than 7.
I can't count that high.
Go on. You're talking.
If you're really waiting until you can't wait any longer, what that means to me is the experience of a healthy bowel movement is. No, I'm trying to figure out what it is that's stopping me up here. Pun intended. It's that all that's standing between you and crapping everywhere is like what? Just releasing something? Do you get what I'm saying? If it's not coming out because you're pushing it.
Again, I'm hopefully talking to an
just a
audience who
little
can
door.
hold in their defecation. But maybe, again, take the advice and move it back 5 minutes.
Okay.
Or 10 minutes or something. Don't wait till that last second, obviously. But the important advice that I'm giving to the listeners is a free PSA. Don't sit on the toilet and just push when you don't have to go. That's bad. Mm-hmm. That sounds like what you're getting close to doing. Hold on, I'm about to sneeze. I'm trying to stop it. Can you get this on camera?
Oh, wait, you're one of those people who stops their sneezes?
I can.
Gary does that.
Gary, the guy who presses the buzzer at the wrong time?
That's right.
Yeah, that's me. Those are my 2 skills.
Now, did you stop this sneeze now because we're recording, or do you not sneeze in public?
Well, sometimes when I sneeze, stuff comes out, and when you have to see that.
Do you have a weird... Do you know how some people, you don't expect it, they sneeze and it's like... Yeah.
No, I don't have a weird
just
sneeze.
squeak.
It makes me feel uncomfortable to sneeze, especially on the... Like, what if I sneeze and snot goes... We got to stop the podcast and clean up.
I know.
Then you guys got to use this mic, and it's always disgusting for the rest of your...
Thank you.
Anything else disgusting that we haven't gone over yet?
So, Okay, you have a younger brother, right?
2 younger brothers.
Oh, 2 younger brothers. One of them is in Scissor Sisters.
Yes.
You're the oldest of 3. Are there just the 3 of you?
3 of us, yes. One, yeah, that's a true statement.
And your parents are together?
Yes.
And what do your parents do?
My dad's a doctor.
What kind of doctor?
Internist. My mom worked with adopted kids growing up, helped kids get adopted. My youngest brother is a doctor. And my middle brother, formed a band. Well, we're all very close in age, but my middle brother Scott moved to New York, and I moved to L.A. He's like, I was much more interested in music than comedy at all, especially growing up.
What do you play?
I play guitar. You'll see me play guitar on the show.
Oh, right, yes, the country song.
Oh, yeah. Did you see that?
I did.
People seem to enjoy that. I've been getting lots of
Say the name of it?
Eating Pussy, Kicking Ass, in case people weren't already talked into watching the show. With my buddy Craig. I used to live with this guy.
Again, they don't know who you're talking about.
I know, but I'm just
Okay.
it's fun for the people who do know, for the 2
Yeah.
people. And he moved to New York, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm starting this band." And like I was, I'm the older brother, so I'm like giving him notes and like, this is the, and he's like, shut the fuck up. And they got a record deal, and he's like, I think this. I remember he called because the band took off really big in England, and people now think we're like a showbiz family because like I have a TV show, he has his band. Neither of us had any connection to showbiz at all. We just both got lucky breaks. I would say he worked really hard and get lucky breaks. I just got the lucky breaks. But he called from England. I mean, it's been a while, it's like 7, 8 years. Like, dude, our album's like really, I think it's taken off. Like, it's like in the top 40 now. It's like, then it was like in the top 20. He's like, our album just went to #1. This is crazy. Like, do you want to come over to England? We're playing the O2 Arena. I'm like, how many seats? He's like, it's like 25,000 seats, and we sold out 6 nights. I'm like, Jesus Christ, you fucking asshole. Like, because I was obviously very proud, but also at the time when I was doing Wendy's commercials, it was like a little bit envious. I would go over there, and also they're what I call the front line. The 3 main guys in the band are gay too, so they have a big gay following, which helped me none in my, because I thought having a rock star brother would get me laid. It didn't help at all because it was many backstage was just gay men. So which is fun. It's fun for me, especially back then. I was a little more of a party person than I am now. I just sit in my apartment. But it was
What kind of party person were you?
Oh, not too. Just like drinking and the occasional, sometimes smoking. I just don't. I'm a Jew. I can't hold alcohol. Alcohol just gives me diarrhea. Speaking of the subject we were talking about before, and pot just makes me paranoid. Like, there's nothing really fun. I've run out of shit to do. Is that how you feel?
Yeah, I cannot hold my liquor at all.
But
I'm a terrible drunk, so that's why I don't drink.
Yeah. So again, I don't
things.
drink because I just don't really enjoy drinking. I can now think, but what the fuck's what do we do now? What's left?
Oh, just death.
Well,
tweeting and death.
Like I was hoping for, like,
find
a hobby. Or
marriage
something.
And kids eventually.
Oh, great. Yeah.
What are your relationships like?
Oh, just shit. I mean, just 2 weeks.
That's the longest.
That's not the longest
average?
hope. But yeah, it's just like I'm not a lot of fun to be around. I don't mean that like I'm a bad person. I'm just really boring, and I have like my set ways, as you can probably tell from so far into this interview. So I'm a tough guy to put up with. I feel like, again, not like mean or like disrespectful, just like I have them set in my ways, and it's very difficult for me to find someone who wants to sit around and watch the TV I want to watch and like not go out.
Has that been the issue?
I think so too, and also I probably have issues with like I've been very focused on I wouldn't say the show because it's only been 3 months, but like when you move out here, I use the word narcissism again, but just like you're so focused on yourself that it's hard to really focus on anybody else. Have you found that to be a problem?
Wait, I'll talk about me in a minute, but
wait a second. Are you're engaged, right? Did I hear that?
am,
Okay.
yeah.
So it hasn't been a problem.
No, but it always was a problem. It's not like I had a series of wonderful relationships, but finally I just decided to go for this one. Like my relationship history is all. I always made the wrong choices.
Well, that makes me feel better then.
And well, good. And so
there's hope.
And I was single for I did not want to date anyone for about 4 years. Do you know that feeling when you get, I don't know if you know this feeling or not, but when you get out of a relationship and then immediately afterwards you see people who are in couples and you think, oh, thank God I'm out of that relationship. That feeling lasted with that much sense of relief every time I would remember that I'm single for like 2 years.
That's what worries me. That's lasted my whole life.
Oh, you've never wanted to be paired up?
No, I mean, that's not true. I mean, obviously not all the time, but there are definitely there's times, there's at least at the minimum once a week where I want to be by myself.
But that seems normal.
But here's but if you're there's no once a week when you're married.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm freaking out about. What if it's Friday and I want to be alone? What do I do? Get divorced for the night? That's not really how it works.
Mm-mm.
So I just need to find someone. I'm just looking for someone who doesn't exist, which is someone who's going to put up with all my shit. Maybe they'll go in another room for one night a week or something.
No, but I think that person does exist because there's the right person for you. This is my belief.
Tweet me at the Ben Show if that's you.
Out there somewhere who's thinking, what if I just want to be alone on Friday night? What am I going to do? You know what I mean?
That's true. I could find someone with the exact same thing, or just knock on the door, and she can go, hey, Ben is kind of by himself tonight, so just.
It doesn't.
That already sounds weird to me.
But in my experience, which again, limited-ish, but a relationship doesn't mean relating to the other person 24 hours a day. Not at all. Now, my boyfriend, I say boyfriend because fiance sounds weird, and I
think fiance sounds nice.
Okay.
Use
my
that.
Fiance.
Okay.
It's just very new.
When did it happen?
February 22nd.
Oh,
is when
congrats!
He proposed. Thank you.
What's the day? It's not even a month ago.
Yeah, it's less than.
That's
a month
very
ago.
new. No wonder you're saying boyfriend. All
yeah,
right.
And we met the day before, so.
Well, that's what makes it even
whirlwind.
newer.
Yeah. He works days and I work evenings, so we really are when we have
this
time
is already
together.
Sounding
it's special.
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's you got to find someone who's just on a different schedule than you are. Sometimes I think, what would that be like if we both worked, the normal.
But I have
5,
weird.
10 to 6 kind of thing.
Who knows with the show? But I am on a schedule now where I work nonstop for 3 months, and then I have a month of doing nothing. I'm like a I'm like a piece of Viacom property at this point. I can't take a job. I'm,
right.
I say that as a good thing in case anyone is thinking I'm complaining about it. While they figure out what's happening with my show, but. That would be I was just thinking too, because my parents were very close and got along really well, which is almost screwed me up more than anything.
Yes, that's how mine are.
Yeah, which I think screwed things up. But they had such a normal, dad at work, mom working part time. So I was thinking now too, what if I had kids right now? So for and 3 months of the year, so say for the last 3 months, I was just out of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the next month, I was there all just sitting around in my boxers, doing radio interviews on the cell phone, watching TV. They would think, what would they think? I just lost my job. They wouldn't even know.
Maybe they'd call you by your first name.
I guess that would probably be it. But I guess it's more common around these parts.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
I am from Orange County, California.
Okay,
actually.
so you know the area. But where I'm,
But I lived out of town for a while. But now I'm back.
Where? New York.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess growing up in Kentucky, you're just used to dad going to work, mom working sometimes, picking up the kids. So I'm not used to, I don't know anything about this showbiz lifestyle. But
do you like LA? And how long ago did you move out here?
I've been here 8 years. First of all, I want to hear your answer.
I think I do. I miss a lot of things.
I think I do is not the enthusiasm I was looking for.
Hey, you guys, it's me, Allison, from before. Don't forget to download part 2 bright and early on Thursday. I love you.
Hey, do you know about the Alison Rosen Show? We had a good time, but now we gotta go. Thank you for choosing the Alison Rosen Show. Alison Rosen is your new best friend. That's right. That's right. Alison Rosen Show. Yeah! Yeah, Alison Rosen is your new best friend.
This is Corolla Digital.